Can you hear me?
Like 30 minutes ago.
Is the stream back on yet?
It doesn't say.
Hold on. Somebody says
It's back.
Yeah, my little kid, Casey,
It's
my
the.
missus let her turn the internet off.
What'd she do?
My little kid, she turned the Wi-Fi off.
The dark. She has.
Okay,
She has
so
the dark.
we've been talking for the last 20 minutes, and no question.
That wasn't fine.
Are any of you going to Star Wars Celebration?
Can they hear us?
Yeah, they can. I think they can hear us now.
Yeah, they
So
can
it's
now.
back on.
Yeah.
It's back on. It's back on. It's back on. So, if so, can we say hi if we see you? Yeah, I'm not going, but if I was, you could say hi to me. Hopefully my wife is not there, because if my wife was there, she would be like, "Who are all these people?"
You'll spot Grande a mile out. He'll be in chains and an orange suit.
That's right. I'll be in chains in an orange suit, because that's what I do.
We'll have him locked up like Hannibal Lecter from Silence of the Lambs, just wheeling him around.
Sir Loki bumped a bunch of questions here in our little chats, so I'm gonna kind of hit his questions here real quick. RCX Duster says, I run Rex lead with GK, Shore, Wedge, and Palp. I'm holding 30th. Would Zeta Kylo be good to replace Wedge? You could do that. The problem is you're kind of short on damage dealers a little bit. You got 3 supports, a tank, and you're using Wedge and Palp as your main damage dealers. It might help. I think you just need more damage in that team. Personally, Shore Trooper's not doing any damage. Rex isn't doing any damage, and GK is not doing a ton of damage. So, what are your thoughts on that?
I'd switch Rex for Boba or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Karen 044, what do you think of Phoenix? And if they get Zetas, what will they be? Phoenix definitely needs some Zetas in order to make them viable, it appears, as a team. What are your guys' thoughts on Phoenix and Zetas?
Sabine looks like she's got a slot for one on her demolition.
How about Smithie take this question?
Smithie, what do you think? Yeah, because you've got some videos showing that team, Smithie.
Oh, sorry, on Sabine, yeah.
No, on the Phoenix squad and Zetas.
So the Zeta. So you want to know where the Zetas will go on them?
Yeah.
Well, they won't go on their unique unless they get reworked. There's only space on their actual abilities, so I can't see them making a huge jump, because I believe Sabine's is on her 5-turn cooldown, so it'll probably reduce it by 1, probably add something else. Ezra's is on his special ability again. I think it's his second special ability that only goes up to level 7. Kanan again. They're not going to have anything on their uniques. They're all Omega to level 8, and same with Hera Elite, so you're not going to see a huge like a huge massive difference to them. And the only thing that I can see them being viable as a team is probably just going to be ships, but that depends if you're interested in that sort of things, and if you do more than your 5 battles per day. In the arena, they're not really that great in the current meta, and in the AAT, they're just, it's not even worth talking about.
Yeah. Ben Lazarus says, question, can we keep Smithie's kid away from the Wi-Fi? Yeah, Smithie's kid and I will be on the chain gang next week together. That way we can make, because we're both apparently messing with Wi-Fi. Do you think they will put out events for old characters between the events for new characters? They already do. They have the droid event, they have the Jawa event. We have an event that comes up like next week about scoundrels. So they are doing events for old characters. So you're getting some of that stuff already. Would you like to see more? I guess I would. And I'm out of questions. So you guys hit us up with some more questions.
We put some up in the chat too, if you want to check it real quick.
Okay, I will. Andrew Berger says, is it just me, or are ships only for whales? No, ships are not only for whales. I would have to say that we have a bunch of guys. We have a guy who contests for rank 2 on my server who is effectively free to play. And you could tell based on the characters on his team. So if you focus on ships, no, ships are not for whales.
Yeah, I think ships are one of the most balanced of anything right now because
Totally agree.
you know the power rating is so misleading. I mean, you can take down somebody with like 40 or 50,000 less power, no problem. I mean, there's for me, you know, I mean, I'm at the top of my arena shard, but I still get taken down. So, you know, the only thing they can do now is do the hardware, right? And then that would just be,
Yeah,
you know, maybe the kind of like the mods on the tunes, you know. But
Captain
right now it's
Blackbeard has another ships question. He says, "Should I stop farming ships in GW and start farming Bodhi? I already 3-starred in the Zeta challenge, and I'm finishing around 20th in my fleet shard. So Bodhi or get higher in fleet. Thoughts?"
I go fleet. Get the Zetas.
I would say Zetas and
Chirrut.
and fleet and Chirrut over farming Bodhi. You know, if you can get those characters, I mean, if you could just wait and not refresh and just get the ships you need out of GW, I mean, there are some pretty amazing ships in GW, whether it's Wedge's ship or whether it's Biggs's ship or whether it's, you know, Ahsoka or whether it's Sunfac. I mean, there are some good ships in there for sure.
You could do both too. You don't have to choose. You could do 1 Bodhi and 2 for ships.
And one of my other really good friends asked a question. Mikey Yearwood says, "Rebel team, for P2, I'm using Wiggs, Chase, and Lando for 1.6 mil. I'm thinking of replacing Lando with Han. I'm guessing he's thinking OG Han. Would that be a better team? I like Lando in that team. Because of the AOE, it basically means you don't have to focus on the 2 side turrets as much as you do the middle. Putting OG Han in there is not going to stun it. If you were going to, I think that Stormtrooper Han works way better in a Turpentine team in P3. Anybody else have thoughts on that?
I tend to see OG Han used in phase 4 over phase 2.
Agree with that as well.
So yeah, I'd stick with the Lando if you P2.
What's up, Mikey? Just wanted to say what's happening.
Yeah. Yeah, both of us know Mikey real well. Robin Berg, how would Rex tie? I don't know which tie he's talking about. Rex tie Bodhi, EP Sunfac do versus the meta. So this is Rex. I'm guessing this is TIE Fighter Pilot, Bodhi, EP, and Sunfac. You got a Taunter. It feels like we're losing some synergy on that team a little bit. It would do okay, but not that great in my opinion. Anybody else have any thoughts on that team? Rex, TIE Fighter Pilot, Bodhi, and EP and Sunfac. I feel like something's missing from that team.
Yeah, I've noticed today quite a few TIE Fighter pilots are popping up on my shard, but they're normally with the Vader and so on.
Eddie,
that team does seem to lack for me.
Yeah, Eddie Smith. When will we see TIE Advanced Farmable? You'll probably see TIE Advanced Farmable in one of these really uber hard to get slots in the fleet shipments, like where you get Maul and Slave 1 sometimes. I could see it going in that particular slot, which might be a little bit troublesome to be able to farm in that location. That's probably where I see it going. But yeah, and I mean, at some point, you know, with the cadence, we're going to end up needing to get Kylo Ren's ship, and we're going to end up farmable, and we're going to end up needing to get, you know, TIE Advanced farmable, and then we'll end up needing to get Cassian's ship farmable. Probably they might
The
and
Millennium
the
Falcon.
Millennium Falcon. The Millennium Falcon's probably going to stay unfarmable for quite some time. So
it shouldn't. Everything is going to fall under the same cadence, or should fall under the same cadence. So really, there's about 5 ships that need to go farmable, and I could see them all going farmable probably in the next 6 weeks, and them being put in the the shipments section, all kind of grouped in like a couple on one and a couple on another. So you have to wait and take your time, and then of course don't forget the other ships that are coming out. And see, that's the thing. The cadence with the characters is kind of set now, and so we all kind of have a good expectation of what's happening, and they've already delivered on their promise of 6 weeks to here and then 6 weeks to there on Rebels and stuff. So we should be getting Director Krennic and Death Trooper really quickly, like in the next 2 weeks, farmable. So that's cool. But with ships, there's also other new ships coming out, and if they're going to bring a new ship coming out and it's going to be for premium shards, they're going to have to do something with those other ships. And so I have a feeling pretty quickly we'll see all those ships farmable, and they'll just be difficult farms like Darth Maul's ship is currently difficult.
okay, so next question. This is from Niall Hubbard. I'm running Zeta Vader, Royal Guard, Boba Fett, TIE Fighter Pilot, and EP Gear 11. I don't have sure. Other obvious additions, assuming Royal Guard goes. So he's running Zeta Vader, Royal Guard, Boba Fett, TIE Fighter Pilot, and Emperor Palpatine. Who should he switch in for Royal Guard, and who should he switch out?
I got an awesome idea.
Sure.
Yeah, I've seen it, and it's actually badass. It's somebody that everybody used to use. It was meta changing. You use Stormtrooper Han. You make him extremely fast. He goes first. Everybody gets turn meter, and then Darth Vader gets to go and put his dots over everyone's head before the other team, and then the other team screwed. Boba Fett and Darth Vader just tear shit up. Excuse my language.
No. Flacker Piercy says, buy the Cassian pack, yes or no? Not just because of the gen shards. If you're a spender, yes. If you're not a spender, no. Just kind of the general consensus. Yes, we answered that question. Question about Zeta Mat challenge. I almost have all required to unlock ships 5-star to unlock the challenge. Any minimal level of ships to be able to 3-star this challenge and make it farmable / advice. There's a Reddit post that shows this. Basically, you can do it with characters and ships that are around level 70, it appears, but it's going to take some amazing RNG, and you're probably going to have to do it multiple times. And some of those ships you have to make sure you get out first. If I remember correctly, I had to really focus on the high damage dealers in that team. Anybody else on advice on that Tarkin challenge to make Zeta's farmable? There's a bunch of videos too. A bunch of us have videos showing what that's like. It's been so long ago, I can't remember. Alliance Pimp Ghost. What up, Ghost? Ghost and I talk in voice all the time. I have Zated Qui-Gon Jinn, Zated Kylo, Zated Yoda, Zated Boba, Zated Maul, Zated Vader sitting on 2. Who should I Zeta, or should I stick it up? I guess he means like just wait for a while.
Or stock up.
Or stock up. Maybe he means stock up.
He's got the big grande fingers too.
He's got the big grande finger. We don't want him to fat finger something. He's got big grande fingers. He types terribly. If anybody has seen me type in chat, I type something, and then 2 days later I go back and read what I type, and I'm like, I sound like an idiot whenever I type. Anyway, I probably sound like an idiot on the stream too, but that's another story. Anybody on his thoughts on who he should Zeta next?
Did he say Nihilus yet?
He did not say Nihilus. Oh, that's a really good one. Yeah. Zeta, unique or leader?
Unique.
Well, he's got 40, so he can do them both.
I would say unique over leader. Anybody else agree, disagree?
Definitely unique first.
Yeah, unique first.
With Rogue One becoming farmable, do we see Krennic coming up? or does Zeta Vader stop the or Zeta Vader till top of Empire? So in other words, do we see Krennic becoming farmable at some point, or do we just say Zeta Vader and that's the top Empire Zeta? Anybody got a Zeta Krennic? I know a bunch of people tried it. Remon, did he leave? Remon is really big into Death Trooper. He probably could have given us some advice on that.
I love Death Trooper, man. That guy's awesome.
A lot of people really like Death Trooper.
He's the only one. He's the only one with an AOE healing immunity and a dispel, like all in one. And then then he increases your cooldown. So, and you don't need a Zeta on that. You know, it's that good.
Faulkner Pierce says, should I one more question? Should I start farming Cad Bane or go for ships in GW, or Cad Bane can wait? I'm level 73 and only have 3 7-star scoundrels, Boba Fett, Lando, and Stormtrooper Han. I would say to wait on Cad Bane and go for some of the more important ships.
Get loot.
You can do Newt Gunray, but that's in a different area, right? So he's basically figuring a scoundrel out of GW. I would probably say that ships are more important than Cad Bane if you've already 3-starred the scoundrel event. Warrior has said many times you could stick Chewbacca in there as a placeholder. The guy don't die by himself because he's got to heal. So that means you could stick somebody else in that other spot. I would look at if you're really worried about scoundrels, I'd look at IG-88. I would look at IG-88 from Arena store. Adam Filipinos says, do you guys think a ship raids is right around a corner or a little ways down the road? I want to farm Bodhi, and I'd also like to 7-star my ships.
I would hope so. I mean, they got to do something with ships. It's very stagnant right now, and I think they need to introduce something where they just have a ship raid by itself, or or something where ships are part of your raid, where you go in with ships first and then do characters, in a raid. But they've got to do something because it is really stagnant right now.
I would say that certain ships are worth more than Bodhi, but it's not every ship you see in there. I probably wouldn't go Geo Spy 7-star unless you have Geo Spy the character 7-starred and start buying Geo Spy. But Sunfac would be a great choice out of there. Ahsoka, Wedge, Biggs, Clone Sergeant, maybe even Resistance Pilot, maybe even as a ship. Charlie Cutmore, will there be a Wookiee tag or team in the future? Like a Wookiee team? That would be so sick if there was a Wookiee tag and there, because there's Wookiee scoundrels and Wookiee everything else. That would be so awesome. But they got a lot of Wookiees to put in there to end up with a Wookiee tag.
Mm-hmm.
Question: do we think they will make Darth Vader's TIE Advanced farmable? They're supposed to make them all farmable at some point. It might be 6 or 8 or 12 months. We already answered that question. I finished first in my arena and fleet for context. I prioritize Zeta over anything for fleet currency. I'm outpacing my arena. Zetas 3-1. Should I continue with Zetas or move on to something else? This is from Anthony Novak.
They're finishing number 1 and stuff.
He's finishing 1-1.
Yeah.
I would probably have enough Zetas to Zeta 1 character in the bag. So have 20 Zetas and the Omegas and Purples ready to go. And then after that, I'd probably move on to something else. Anybody else have a different recommendation for him?
Mm-mm.
If you're that high and you're really doing that well and you're really that maxed out, probably Zetas are the only thing that's important at this point. You probably should just continue to buy Zetas, and just because at this point, to maintain that number 1 spot, the only competitive edge you're going to have is the Zeta characters. So that's where I'm at. I've got all my ships 7-star and all my characters, so I'm just doing Zetas only. So That's what I would suggest. Although I'll tell you, as soon as I started buying Zetas every single day, I stopped getting them in the event. all of a sudden, I started getting one Zeta drop a month. Literally, one Zeta drop and
Oh
one
my God,
Omega
that
drop a
makes you wanna
month.
pull your
I
hair
took a week. I took a week of not buying any Zeta, just keeping my ship currency, and all of a sudden, I got 3 Zeta drop that week. So, is it something that the game knows? I don't know.
Mhm.
I've been buying and not getting any drops.
Oh,
The challenges.
man.
I've
Lang,
had one in
Lang,
4.
Lang said the same thing.
That's interesting. I just keep that stuff up.
I mean, I'm in a position here where I've literally just spent all of mine. I'm 0 Zeta at the moment. So I'm going to try an experiment. I won't buy a Zeta for 2 weeks. How about that? And I'll see how I get on with the challenges.
I'm actually on an Omega shortage of all things. I'm kind of like Bella. I got like 60 Zetas, but I have like 10 Omegas. So
I've got 0
67.
Zetas. And
I've got 67 now.
it's awful.
Yeah.
You have 70 now?
67.
Wow.
67. Nice. So James Wirth says, "Are we looking forward to Ghost being released in ships?" Abso-stinking-lutely. I think that'll be awesome. I can't wait to see how they do the Ghost and the Phantom ships and how those two ships have synergy, or if the Ghost poops out the Phantom in the middle of a round, or like calls it in
out the Phantom.
or like calls it, or like calls it in as like a reinforcement that you don't have to have as a reinforcement. I mean, there's all different kinds of really cool, super cool mechanics that you could do between Ghost and Phantom. The Ghost dies and then the Phantom comes back in its place. You could just think about all the possibilities of some really cool mechanics you could have with that. Anybody else have thoughts on Ghost Phantom together?
I'm still thinking about poop out the Phantom.
Sorry. That was a bad choice.
Could someone hashtag that, please?
We could do it with butt sock. I'm gonna poop a Phantom. You better be careful. I might have a butt sock. Oh my gosh. Go ahead, Bella.
Yeah, it was just saying I'm looking forward to it as well.
Yeah.
It sounds like a cool crew also. But I bet you will have to farm all 5, maybe 5, or even to put them on the ships.
So here's a question here that a bunch of us can't answer, so we will skip that question. I read it. So Cleodoc, I read that question, but we're not going to answer that. Adam Phillips, do you think retribution mods will be added to the game? If so, do you think there will be an endless counter team with the Phoenix Squadron against Grievous for P1 AAT? So on a podcast that EA Jesse did with the Shattered Order, he said that was an old graphic and that there would not be retribution mods, and for us not to think that retribution mods are coming, but that graphic was wrong. Anyone else have any thoughts on retribution mods?
I think it was just in the Japanese store, wasn't it?
Well, the retribution mods were never actually a deal. It was just a graphic. If you look at one point, we had a graphic a long time ago that had that said that, and like back when mods first came out, everybody was like, retribution mods are coming, and then EA Jesse actually put that to bed in a podcast and said he did not see those coming at any point. My arena here's one from Wii U Geek Player. So my arena team is Nihilus lead, Darth Sidious, Dooku, Vader, and Stormtrooper Han. I don't have Sith Trooper or Sith Assassin. I'm going to get Palp to 6 stars. Who should I take out and run in that team? So Nihilus, Darth Sidious, Dooku, Vader, and Stormtrooper Han. Who should he put in? Who should he put Palpatine in and take out?
Oh, it's going to be dependent on what levels they all are.
Yeah,
I thought it's
and what he's going for. Golly.
Yeah, I'd say the weakest one.
I would agree
I know
with
that's
that.
obvious, but
That's
where I'd
super
be.
obvious, but it's probably the best answer, Mike. I mean, really. I mean, you'd have to really look at that and see. I've got 18 Zeta mats. So what would be what would be my first? I'm thinking Vader or Palpatine. Since Palpatine does not have a Zeta, I would say you're doing Vader.
I
You've
agree.
answered your question.
Thanks for the easy one. Someone threw me a softball. I want to make a Wigs team without Chase. I have Wedge and Biggs to 7-star. Who else should be on the team? I think you already asked this question before. Maybe we didn't answer it. Wedge, Biggs. You could put Lando, Stormtrooper Han, Boba Fett. You could put Leia on the team. You could put K2SO and Cassian on the team. You could put Palpatine on the team. Man, there's a ton of teams that you could run just if all you're doing is the Wigs combo. Tons of teams.
I was asked similar question by one of my guild members, and we went with Boba and who was the other one? Rex. If you have Rex, if you do Boba and Rex, you've got 3 different combinations of lead at your disposal.
That's really good. You
Very
could
very
put
versatile
Nihilus on that team. You could put Nihilus on that team.
Yeah.
Here, so Everett Frog Folong says, how can I get Nihilus? You can buy his shards out of shipments now, or you can pull chromiums. Those are the only 2 ways. Will he become farmable? I'm sure he will. How will he become farmable? I have no idea. When will he become farmable? I have no idea. I'm level 78, number 1 in fleet. Balance between 50 and 20 in arena. My arena team is basically pilots. My strat is Zeta mats. Fleet 1 until 85. Is that a bad strategy? No. I think that's a great strategy. That's from Cleodoc. Let's see. Yeah, sorry, I'm hugging it up too much. At what gear level are the clone team viable for the light side hard node quest 9? Also, which clone leader with no Zeta? So who has a really great clone team and can tell us when clones would be viable for the light side 9 area? I think Sir Loki, you have a pretty good clone team, right? Or yeah, Mike has a great clone team.
I was going to say, I mean, that's what I did it with. If you've got an ally with GK, then you're set.
An ally with GK. So how would you run it? Which clones? Which leader?
So what I didn't get was where is he with his Cody? Cody's going to be lead. You've got to just to keep Cody alive.
Okay, so do Cody lead. Even if Cody's not Zeta, do Cody lead.
Yeah, because you otherwise you're just going to lose Cody.
Okay. Sir Loki, you see it differently or no?
No, I did it the same way with it was my own Cody lead. I think at that time I probably had Cody at only like gear 10 or something, but I did borrow a GK, and then you get the double leader synergy from both of them.
Charlie Cutmore says, I'm using droids at the moment, but should I use a Sith Empire or should I wait until I get enough Zetas for Vader? So basically, I guess this question is, stick with droids or do Sith Empire with no Zetas? Smithie, what do you think about that? It's kind of a Zeta question. Zeta's kind of your specialty.
Oh, Loki's pretty good with his Zeta. I don't actually have Zeta yet, Just more of an observer.
Okay.
I kind of look over him. I know how he works and everything, but I know Loki's been using him even still to this day in the arena.
So Loki, what do you think about droids versus a Sith Empire team without a Zeta Vader?
Damn, that's a good question. So I mean, the problem with the droid team I see is it's going to be hard for you to break like out of 30. So I still have droid teams on my shard, and I mean they don't break out of the 30. I mean, it like you barely see them in top 20. So I mean, if you're patient enough to and you're okay with that spot, then I would definitely wait and then accumulate the Zetas. And then I mean, because I just don't see a Sith or Empire team working without a Zeta. If you want to run the Empire team, I mean, the only lead you have that doesn't require Zeta is Palpatine. So keep that in mind as well. But Zeta is still viable, and then Maul is still viable. Maul is definitely viable in the top 10 with a Zeta.
Chelsea Hunterhead 88. I run Rex lead with 5s Zeta, Sunfac 200 speed with 65k protection, Dooku and Kylo Ren. I'm top 15 every day, but I don't make it to top 5. Any suggestions? And he gave a big shout out to Bella. So let's let Bella try to help him with this question, since he gave a big shout out to Bella.
Wow. Actually, I don't run Rex, so that's very kind you gave this question to me, but I would like to have someone else answer him.
Okay. So, Mike, what do you think? He's running Rex lead.
And one thing I have to say, viele Grüße zurück.
So, Mike, what do you think about this team and how he can get from top 15 to top 10 running Rex lead, 5s, Zeta, Sunfac, Dooku, and Kylo Ren?
Sunfac, Dooku, Kylo Ren. I'd be looking at switching Sunfac for a higher damage dealer. Does he?
If he had another Zeta, he could Zeta Kylo Ren, and it'd probably help him out a bunch.
Yeah, I've just Zeta'd my Kylo, and I've slapped him into arena, and it's proving fun.
With that team mentioned, the problem you've got is everybody, or most is running a Maul. Most, in the game, there's a lot even working to it. That actual entire team, okay, is going to get destroyed by Maul, especially as Daisy is going to shut down the counterattack of Sunfac, the counterattack of Dooku. If 5s is Zeta, and then you've got no turn meter, the turn meter from the it's just. I think the problem that you've got with that team is it's great against teams that are probably not a Maul team. But if you're going against your Maul, and say if your Maul is in your top 10 side of your arena, that is your issue right there, is that you need to change out where you're not relying on turn meter gain so much, and you're not relying on counterattacks, because none of your team's going to counterattack against Days. That's 5s, that's Sunfac, that's Dooku, that's 3 of your characters already. None of them are going to get any turn meter if they've got Days applied to them either. In fairness, Rex is there as well, so Rex can do so much, but there is only so much that's going to happen in that team, especially on attack as well.
Warrior, what do you think he can do for that team?
Completely replace it.
Okay.
I'm not trying to be rude. It's just not a well-built team at all. I don't even think 5s is viable in the top 20 arena, honestly. I really don't. There's only one guy that runs 5s in our top 20, and it is his weak link. If he would replace 5s with anybody worthy of some DPS, he would probably be an unbeatable team. But unfortunately, he keeps 5s in there because he's got an affinity for clones. So luckily for us, we can beat him. I just like they.
Just how it is.
The only thing
they said, it's just not enough DPS.
The only thing I'll add as well is 5s I think is good under like Kenobi lead. I don't think he's good anymore under a Rex lead. I'd probably sub a B2 in there somewhere, but then I just, maybe for 5s. I mean, that would be a start. Dooku doesn't get any synergy from anybody, and his Dooku's not Zeted, so he's not gaining protection back. I mean, you got pieces, but then again, you just got to rearrange them. And then I would dump 5s for B2 is my suggestion.
You, the geek player, said, "What's the next meta?" We've already gone around the horn and done this. Let's go around the horn again for what's the next meta do you see? So, Warrior, what's the next meta that you see coming up?
That's a tough question, but I really think that there's a possibility that Rebels will, within the next 2 months, kind of push out the Maul leads, but it really hinges off of whether Bodhi is everything that he's claiming to be or not.
Smithie D, next meta.
Hopefully it's Jedi. Maybe we'll see Jedi Luke. It could be Jedi. But there could be a lot of different factors in that. But yeah, you've got Empire Rising, haven't you? Depend on how good any new Empire characters, if there's any reworks in that. There could be absolutely anything going on in that.
Yeah, so you're thinking maybe Jedi, maybe Empire. Sir Loki, what do you think's the next meta?
I will say, I think as Nihilus keeps getting built up, I think we're going to see more Nihilus leads. His leadership ability, your Sith allies don't critical chance, so it shuts down Rex. It helps with Maul leads. I think when Nihilus, when more people get Nihilus, you're going to see him more. And then the other one I'm thinking that's going to make the resurgence is some kind of Death Trooper, maybe Krennic Empire, or not necessarily Krennic lead, but maybe with new Empire coming, then they might slide in to fill up a Empire squad.
Ranger J 1999. Next meta.
Yeah, I still think it's going to be the Rogue One characters coming in, and I think Rebels is going to kind of switch up and kind of even things out with the Zal. I agree with Warrior.
Let's see, Mike. What do you think is the next?
I'm in agreement with Ranger and Warrior. I think that there are just far too many Rebel characters to enable everybody to run a Rebel squad. That the Rebels are going to be. Yeah. The fact that both that Cassian and K2 are so available now. Yeah.
Darth Bella, what do you think is the next meta team?
Yeah, I think it's been said all. I just wish they would put Zetas on Leia and get her reworked in honor of her.
Yeah.
That would be so nice. Be cool.
Yeah.
That would be so nice. I think the meta changes based on the server you're in. I don't know what the next meta is going to be. I think it might also be different based on what you're going up against. You'll see that meta kind of starts at the older shards and then kind of migrates to the newer shards. So potentially the meta for you may be different than the meta for somebody who was in a pre-launch team. So anyway, that's something to think about. Okay, so BBC, which is Boulevard Broadcasting Channel, says, I'm using a full clone team for my basic team, and I use for everything. I'm thinking I'm subbing Clone Sergeant out and Boba Fett. Should I? I'm level 80. So let's let our clone experts work on this. Mike, what do you think about a clone team?
You can't take Sarge out. Sarge does too much damage. I know this is going to sound extreme, but I would be switching out
Echo. Okay.
Yeah. That's. No,
yeah.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, Sir Loki, do you see that differently, or do you see it kind of the same?
It depends on the lead. So I'm rereading his question again. Maybe a Rex lead, you could maybe sub out one of the clones. I think you do need Sergeant because he's got the AoE turn meter reduction and he does a lot of damage. Possibly Echo, but then if you're running like a Cody lead with a Zeta, then you need all the clones you can get, I think.
Warrior, I know you fight a bunch of clone teams, or you have in your arena. How do you think he should? What do you think he should do with that team?
Rex lead, take out Cody, or Cody lead, take out Echo. But Echo for Boba Fett, right? Is that what he said? Boba Fett.
That's what Sir Loki said. Yeah.
Just know that's what the question was. I'm putting in Boba Fett for one of the clones, right?
Boba Fett for one of the clones, correct?
Yeah. I think Echo because Echo is a dispeller, and if you're going to take someone out, you got to replace him with someone that does something similarly utilitarian. And at least if you're not going to be able to dispel him, you can at least do execute, which dispels, or you can at least choose your target at will because it's Boba Fett and he gets to choose his targets at will. So you can kind of get around if you can't dispel. So I would say if you're going to take out someone, take out Echo and put in Boba Fett. But I don't know, that just doesn't sound right.
So then next question, Captain Blackbeard. I'm thinking of omegaing Sid's death stroke. Is there a chance it has a chance to ignore defense? I'm not exactly sure how defense work. How beneficial is it to ignore defense? So I'm going to answer this with a small plug. If you'll go to our website, Reality Skewed Gamers website, we have a defense calculator that kind of helps you understand how defense works. I think that's and how defense changes into armor. I think that's hugely important for you to understand how it works on your own characters before you can understand how defense works in general. Defense is effectively the ability to resist the full hit based on what the character does. Smithie, do you want to go into any more detail about whether or not he should look at Zetaing Sid and how that works with the defense mechanic?
Sid doesn't really hit that hard, even though he passes defense. Not really that high anyway. You're probably going to be looking at about 10k if he's been modded. 10k on his basic, sometimes 13k. No, I'd only really use Sid if you're using mainly a Vader team. You wanted to use Sid as a lead. You wanted to use Sid to put the dots and expose, so you could use him in a resistance team. Other than that, I wouldn't really put him in a maul team. Unless depends on what your team is, but there's now better characters out there than that placement in a Zol team.
So maybe he needs to look at a different character to Zeta, is what you're basically getting at.
Yeah, like Kylo Ren's a great character. If he hasn't got Kylo Ren, then I think that's kind of like the staplement for this game is everyone needs to own Kylo Ren and Zeta him. I think, yeah, on the offense, just wonders with the guy. You just take out teams with him. Savage, I don't really like. I've got a Zeta Savage, and I think he's pretty rubbish, to be honest. On defense, he's just crap. In my Zol team, he would just make zero difference to it if I was running him or Palpatine. Just doesn't really do that well. On the offense, it's kind of okay, but I have my Zeta Kylo, so my Kylo does all the heavy lifting, and yeah, I don't really rate him highly, or his Zeta. Who knows what will happen? But in my maul team that I run him, I just don't see a massive difference between him and Zeta and not Zeta.
Anybody else have a comment on Sid Zeta and whether or not to do it? Yes or no? Warrior, what are your thoughts on Zeta? Darcy.
I think there's just a lot of other options that are better options. So I mean, if you've got 100 Zetas sitting in your inventory and you're just bored, sure. Otherwise, there's other better options.
Okay. Darth Bella, I'll have you answer this question. What do you think of my team? This is from Pedro Santos. Zeta Qui-Gon Jinn, Lumi, Ayla, Plo Koon, Jedi Knight Anakin. Do you think this is a good team or a bad team? Do you think he should change someone out or not?
Qui-Gon Jinn, Lumi, Plo Koon, and who?
And Jedi Knight Anakin under a Zeta Qui-Gon Jinn.
But that's 4, isn't it?
Right, so it's 5. Zeta Qui-Gon Jinn, excuse me, Lumi, Ayla, Plo Koon,
Ayla, okay.
and Jedi Knight Anakin.
Yeah, I mean, I would take out Lumi definitely.
Yeah.
I quite like Ahsoka,
Yep.
but there's other options as well. But Ahsoka hits quite hard. Waiting for Zeta there as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think about Plo Koon on that team?
Yeah, I'm not quite sure. I never built him up because I didn't have such a good opinion.
I'm kind of with you on that one.
Anyone else? So these are the two I would put a question mark in. And what about Yoda?
Totally agree with Yoda. Anyone else think he could build a better Jedi team than the one he's got right now? Zeta, Qui-Gon Jinn.
Imagandai. What about him?
Yeah, maybe that's true.
Yeah. So there's.
I think Yoda for sure. That you're and potentially Ahsoka. Those two you just said. Anyone else think he could build a better Jedi team than that? I'm guessing for Arena.
Ezra.
Oh, that's a good. I keep forgetting about the new guys, right? Yeah, maybe Ezra. Do you think? I haven't really leveled up my Ezra high enough to really see if he's amazing. You know, at 3-star, 4-star. Anybody else have an opinion?
No, he's not that very good at 3-star, 4-star. You're probably going to need to have a 7-star because he doesn't have much health as it is. And he's a damage dealer, so any damage dealer like that isn't a support character like Sharu, where he's going to get synergy from another character, you want to really have him at 7-star. Nihilus you can get away with because what Nihilus's kit does, you don't need him to hit any damage, and he's already really, really tanky on the protection. But Ezra, yeah, you're going to need to have a 7-star Ezra.
Okay, so Alliance Ghost Pimp. Do you think that if I get a tattoo of a Carbanti that my drop rate will increase?
Well, might as well try.
Definitely.
Warrior is our drop rate guru. So will a tattoo of a Carbanti help his drop rate on Carbantis?
Yeah, the drop rate instantly doubles.
Oh my god, dude.
But it has to be visible to everyone.
It has to be a visible one. Oh my god, you guys.
No hiding
it has to be on the forehead, unfortunately. It has to be on the forehead.
So what we'll do now, Grunde, we'll start wrapping it up.
Yeah, we got to. We've been going too long. Sorry, guys. Yeah. So however you want to do it, Smithie.
Yeah, man. So let's throw it out. So a big thank you to all the panel for joining us. But Warrior, where can we find you? What do you do? Fire away.
All right, you'll find me on my channel at Warrior from Team Instinct and on YouTube. And I'm just putting out a lot of content. If you have a particular fetish for a particular type of video, I do them all. So just wait till I release those particular videos. I do arena battles, ship battles. I do in-depth roster reviews, which actually are kind of cultic. I don't get many views, but the people who do watch learn a lot. They're highly focused. Trying to help free-to-play and some other pay-to-play focus on what they should be working on. So hopefully while watching those roster reviews, you can learn a little something about what you should be doing with your roster. And then, of course, character reviews. I've got Nihilus and Darth Vader and Savage all kind of lined up to be working on as far as in-depth character reviews. So, yeah, a lot of stuff kind of in the works going on.
Awesome, buddy. Awesome. So, and then we've also got on the show, we've got the reality skewed gamers. Which one of the two of you has taken the throne for today?
Ranger will take it for today.
Yes, I will, because Granda had to read all the questions. Did a good job, and you get a cookie.
Thanks, buddy.
Yeah, or beer. We'll figure it out.
Okay.
Yeah, tequila. You can check us out on Reality Skewed Gamers. We got a lot of stuff going on right now. We've got we've got the streams that we're doing 3 days a week. Wednesday's our normal stream. Of course, tonight we'll have our fun night where we just kind of have fun and get crazy with Mad Libs and Who Wants to See Ranger open a pack. Sundays is the Mage Duckies Ship Spectacular show. We also have videos that we're putting out about the Heroic AT raid. The last one was Xylo. We were working on another Clones one for Phase 4 that'll be out soon, and a lot of other stuff. So just come out, check our channel out. There's a lot of stuff for everybody. We've got the mod calculator like Grundy had said earlier. So yeah, you can check us out on Reality Skewed Gamers. There's a link on the Discord or link for the channel at the bottom of the show here notes. So that's it for us.
Awesome, man. Awesome. I might join you later tonight on the fun show. I might, and I might not. It's quite
That
late.
guy.
Yeah. But it's quite late, isn't it? On Saturday nights for me. We'll see.
You're more than welcome, buddy. You know that.
Yeah, man. And we've also got joining us today. Well, that's joined us today. We've got Sir Loki. Sir Loki, where can everybody check you out? What do you do?
So right now I got a YouTube channel. It's SIRLOKI. It's Sir Loki. Right now I'm working on Phase 3 Heroic AAT. I'm trying to find the one team that can do the big damage. So I'm up to 2.6 million with that Tebow-led team, and then probably going to run another one tonight. So I'm going to push to 3 mil and see what I can do with it. But I got other arena videos, non-Zol. If you want to check out like Zader leads and Nihilus leads and Rogue One teams, check out my channel. And thank you again to the panel, and thank you for having me on.
Thank you for joining us. And we've also got Mike from the UK. Mike, where can everyone find you?
I've got a YouTube channel. I hit a milestone for myself. I have a 250,000 views, which I'm humbled and stunned at the same time, and
Congrats, man.
I'm blown away, and I'm close to 1,000, and I've promised a reveal, which I'm getting nervous about now. So that's going on. Like you guys, I love the game, so I feature every aspect of the game that I play. I've done some of these mod packs today. I've faltered. I've turned to the dark side slightly, and I have an alt, and I've got a couple of mod packs for my alt as well, just to see what that'll do for a level 70 free to play. I don't know if I can class him free to play now, but I'm not buying anything gear or whatever. Yeah. Yeah, and then leading a guild, chatting everywhere, and I've had some great mod things occur recently. I think I had my best ever mod farm, and I had a totally unexpected transmitter mod speed. I was trying to do a professional review of how you mod, how you level a mod up, and it speed turned 3 times. So yeah, the professionalism went out, but that's me. Thank you.
Thanks. And Remon did join us earlier, so you can check out Remon's channel in the link below, and that's going to be Remon, and he's in the Alliance. They do a stream every Friday, is it, Grande?
Yeah, he's doing a live stream for the Alliance on Fridays. I think he's also doing a few other streams kind of in the middle of the week, and he's also posting some videos and some reviews. Remon, another one of my buddies for like a year in this game. Go check out Remon. Go check out the Alliance. I think that they bring a lot of insight into the game, and so you can definitely go look at them. Super guys over there.
Definitely. And last but not least, we have Bella. Go for it, Bella.
Yeah, I'm used to be last because my player ID starts with a lowercase z.
Oh man,
that's really unlucky. I learned. Yeah, and what do? You can find me in game doing the ship battles, and I have this channel set up on Discord to help guys with you guys with the lineup of your fleet.
Yeah, you've got that Discord channel, haven't you? So we'll get that link out there as well for anyone that wants to join the Discord server.
Yeah.
We'll get that put out for future streams. I don't actually have that to hand at the minute. Unless you've got it, Bella, and you can just put it in chat and I'll copy it and put it into the notes.
Yeah, I'll send you the link again.
That's cool. We'll get that put out there so everyone can join your room and talk about ships. But I believe that's everyone. Is there anyone I've missed? I think everyone's in here. Gone over.
You missed yourself.
Yeah. Well, it's on my channel, so it's kind of like promoting my channel within my channel. But guys, if you want to see how terrible the Phoenix Squad does in Phase 1 and 2, I just put out a new video today. I've got my arena reviews coming out tomorrow onwards. I'm actually You know what? Doing an arena review, I don't know. I know, like Warrior's stacked up on his roster reviews, but I gotta say, like, they don't take that long. I thought they'd take me like 10 hours to make, but what about you, Warrior? They just
the
like
arena,
feel easier.
the
Yeah.
arena are fun because I could just blast out. I could blast out 10 arena videos a day if I wanted to. A roster review, like if I go and do an in-depth, the in-depth I spend like 10 hours on, and then I get like as many views or less, and I'm just like, what? I could spend a half hour or I could spend 10 hours. So I mean, yeah, as a YouTuber, part of you just wants to do the what's easiest for the most views, but at the same time, as a complete channel, you kind of want to make sure you're doing it all to make sure that you're because people want to know my opinion on Nihilus, so I'm going to do that. But you don't want to spend too much time producing it, and the truth is sometimes you could spend 10 hours producing or an hour producing, and half the people don't even notice, they don't even care. So it's one of those things where so you can almost overproduce a video, and I think that I've gotten to that point where I'm trying to simplify my production and make it more about the content, like the commentary. And then I get some people that are like, when I don't talk, they're like, you don't talk enough. And then I get other people that when I do talk, they're like, you talk too much. So you just kind of have to do what you're going to do. You just got to let who you are and what you want be the guide, and people will either follow or they won't. And if they don't follow, it is what it is. And if they follow, great. It'll be in its timing.
Yeah, definitely. Well
So
said. No, I was doing my first review last night, and I think I did like 15 minutes worth of talking in probably 15 minutes. It was just continuous. I was just like through OBS. I thought it was a lot easier compared to how I normally do it, because I do a lot of it in segments and scenes. So I just smashed it. I was like, yeah, 15 minutes. Awesome. But that's all.
I like the Superman.
Oh, the Superman one. I've got actually, on my last Phoenix one, I've got a little bit changed where you got Luke and Obi-Wan, and there's looks like they're shouting in the background, like in a faded out scene. It's pretty cool. And then yeah, I love doing little things like that. Even though they probably take the longest to do, it's just putting it all together and moving it around from program to program to kind of put those effects in. And for me, anyway, probably someone that's professional probably take 2 minutes. But yeah, that's all we've got for today. So that's all, folks. Thank you very much for joining us, and big thank you to the panel for again joining us. I'm the Smithie D. Thank you very much for watching. May the force be with you always.